Hey guys, um, testing out my new selfie stick. I finally found a way to prop it up so that I don't have to sit and hold the camera with one hand. Um, I am still clean and sober. By the grace of God, I'm still on my feet. And in this video, I really don't know what I'm going to talk about. So I will wing it, as they say. um, this whole thing with Russia and Ukraine honestly is disheartening. And, people don't understand the repercussions that this may have. Unfortunately, lives are being lost on both sides. And it's very unfortunate that the lives on both the good and the bad side are being lost. Because when you take a life, you not only end their life, but you also end anything that they will ever be. Say that their destiny is to do the right thing and change their ways. If you kill that person, you take that chance away from them. And also, if they haven't accepted Christ when they die, well, you take that too. And my heart breaks for both sides in this war because so many lives are being lost. And it makes me angry. I don't like to see anybody die unnecessarily. Me as a person, I believe Vladimir Putin deserves to die. Brutally. In fact, the slower the better. Make him suffer. But, on the other hand, what if he doesn't know Jesus? What if, and I know this is gonna sound preposterous, but what if he were to accept Christ and change his ways and become good? It is something to think about. Which is why I still force myself, or I try to force myself to pray for even Putin, that he may find a change in heart, do the right thing, be good, and choose God. But deep down, I highly doubt that will ever happen. My human belief is shoot the SOB before he has a chance to kill any more people. But my Christian heart tells me, forgive even him. And believe me, even I'm cringing at saying that. But Christ said, love your enemy. Love your neighbor. But it's really hard to turn the other cheek when that cheek is being slapped every chance that it's really hard to set aside your personal beliefs and feelings and pray for somebody that you absolutely despise with every fiber of your being. But I believe in second chances. However, when he bombed the children's hospital and maternity wards, me as a person, without thinking about God and all this, that was my breaking point. For me, personally. I believe he deserves to die brutally, slowly, and painfully. And yet, there is still a small part of me that thinks that if he changes, maybe he deserves a second chance. But you know what? Not likely. And I have to stop myself, and I have to stop and think about, what is the right thing to do? It's a question I have to ask every day because of where I've come from and the things that I've done. Although I am not a killer, I could never hurt anybody. Not really. And we all need to ask ourselves every day what the right thing to do is. Because you never know. Tomorrow might not come. And if this war turns nuclear, the US of A is going to be the first target he goes after. That is providing he even managed to survive the war he's in right now. If, hypothetically speaking, Putin wins this war or walks away from it, and he's still in control of Russia, and he decides to get out those nukes, the USA is the only other country who could even stand up against Russia. We and Russia are the number 2 as far as nuclear warheads go in all the world. We have the most nukes. And if we start launching them at each other, no one will survive. No one would win that war. And it's heartbreaking to think about that because, the people in this country would be all likely killed because of the nuclear fallout and the sheer number of warheads that they have. And same goes for Russia. The citizens of Russia, most of them do not believe in what their president is doing. Russian soldiers are turning themselves over as prisoners of war in the Ukraine. And they're telling everybody the truth in saying that they were lied to going into this war. These are innocent people that they're being sent to murder and kill and conquer. They didn't know that going in. And that's not fair. So, I believe somebody needs to take Putin out. Because this could get so very much worse. For both sides. Not just America and Russia and Ukraine, but everybody involved in NATO. People will die. If this goes nuclear, people will die. Lots of people. Boatloads of people. And it's not fair. And I really hope that this war resolves itself without any more casualties. But you know what? In war, honestly, looking back through history, World War II, World War I, Desert Storm, the War on Terror, it never ends peacefully. People always die in war. And it makes me sick. But I also know in my heart, war sometimes is not avoidable. So, any of you who believe in God and Christ, I ask you, please, pray for all of mankind, because we need it bad. And please pray for Putin too. God, I can't believe I'm saying that. Pray that he changes his mind and backs out of this war. Please pray for Ukraine and Zelensky, who are fighting for their homes, their lives, their children, their mothers. I mean, for God's sake, a baby was born in a bomb shelter. Guys, please, we gotta pray. Only God can resolve this peacefully. Only God can put an end to it. Because we humans, we are not perfect. We believe what we want. We make our own choices. Like Putin. Like Zelensky. And I agree with Zelensky standing his ground. That takes guts, man. He's got to know the cards are stacked against him number-wise. And yet, they are still holding their own. It's like watching the 300 all over again. And it's impressive. And honestly, I am rooting for Ukraine. But most of all, I'm rooting for God. Because if God isn't in the center of this war, then it's going to get so very much worse. So please, guys, all of you who see this video, please pray that this war be resolved with the minimal amount of casualties as possible. Please pray that people open their eyes and they wake up and they see things for what they really are. And yeah, in a perfect world, it would be nice if everyone just, where they're standing, put their guns down and walk off the battlefield and say, I'm done. You've made your point. I've made my point. We don't need to fight anymore. In a perfect world, right? But as we all know, we are far from in a perfect world. We live in a very fallen world, a very corrupt world, and a very selfish one. And that's why we need to pray. In God we trust. United we stand, divided we fall. Remember that. And just because you're one person, don't go and think that your one opinion or your one prayer isn't going to matter. God hears them all. And even if you are just one voice in all the world, it matters. You matter. Don't go and think that your words are going to be unheard or ignored by God, because He hears all. And I truly believe that if humans, all humans, stand together and we actually try and make this place better, I believe we can do it. But it starts with you. It starts with me. It starts with every single person out there, every mother, father, and child who is on the business end of that war. It starts with every person home, next door to you, next door to your neighbor, every person you see in a grocery store. It starts with each one of you. You have to make the choice to start with the man in the mirror. Yes, I'm quoting Michael Jackson, forgive me. But it's not any less true. So, guys, we need to pray that humanity makes the right decisions. We need to pray that Ukraine and Russia walk off the battlefield. Maybe not walk off without killing anymore, but with as minimal damage as possible. We need to pray that Putin, God help me for saying this, we need to pray that Putin have a change in heart. Though I know it's already too late for everything he's done for him. But that's my personal opinion. That's not God's opinion. And My girlfriend, right, just a few minutes ago told me killing Putin is not the answer. Not for all the people he's killed. That's not justice. I'm trying very hard to not disagree with her, but she's right. More bloodshed is not going to fix what he's already done. But he needs to be stopped. Period. And yes, there will always be a part of me that says, just shoot the bastard. But the Holy Spirit in me is saying, pray for the guy. Because he's a human being just like you and me. It doesn't matter that he's ex-KGB. It doesn't matter that he's Russian. It doesn't matter that he's supposedly tough and doesn't bluff. He's just a person. He bleeds like you and me. You prick his finger, he bleeds. So, please pray. We really need it. Everybody needs it. And you know, if we actually try, you never know what might happen. How do you know unless you try? At least try. And even if you think that praying inside your head silently is stupid and pointless, I don't care. Because it's not stupid and pointless. It matters. And people need to stop being so desensitized because of society and the world that we live in. People need to open their eyes and allow their empathy and their compassion to shine through. We need to stop being so narrow-minded and just casting judgment on one another. We need to cut that out right now, because that's not the way God designed it to be originally. Yes, it is in our nature to destroy ourselves if we let it. So it starts with you. You got to ask God, please, Lord, step in. You need to be out there on the battlefield with the soldiers. You need to be at home with those soldiers' families, their mothers, their fathers, their children. You need to be with every single person on this planet, Lord. If you ask him to do that, he'll do it. You just have to have a little bit of faith. That's all it takes. A little bit of faith. I have faith that we can do it. So, I'm going to shut up now. This video is going on 20 minutes. So, good night, guys. God bless you. You are important in this world and you're loved. Don't ever forget that. Good night.